just did it, folks. She just did it, America. She proved to the entire world that what resides in her cranium is a couple of fleas, some dust, some mites, and a lot of air. Holy macadamia nut. Jasmine Crockett goes on the House floor, the hallowed halls of our Congress. I mean, this is the biggest mook that's ever polluted our hallowed halls of Congress, and casts aspersions without doing a hint, not even a molecule of her own research. Wait till you see what she said, and then wait till you see the response. And then the scary, actually dangerous thing is, coming off the heels of these mook members of Congress, these Democrats calling for the military, I did 2 videos in a row on this in case you missed it, to disobey our commander-in-chief, the person that the people voted for, the person who represents the people, of the people, by the people, for the people. And these mooks are calling for the military to actually disobey and completely non-comply with our president. She doubles down. Crockett actually doubles down on her inanity. Let me explain what I'm talking about in just a second. Also, the boys are back. President Trump and Elon Musk. Wait till you hear what Trump said about his Democratic strategy, and then calls out Elon in the crowd as he's speaking at the Saudi Arabia summit just the other day. But first, here we go. Check this out. So Jasmine Crockett, who doesn't do an ounce of thinking on her own, she's just ratchet, she's uncouth, she's immoral, she has no backbone, she has no integrity, no values, no principles. She goes on the House floor. She actually calls out our EPA director, former Army Lieutenant Colonel Lee Zeldin, for also talking to somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, when that Jeffrey Epstein is nowhere near. There's other people in the world that have the names Jeffrey and Epstein, you dumb mook. I'm sorry for being so harsh, but it just pains me that somebody like this is in Congress, somebody this wholly unqualified. When I say DEI kills y'all, I mean it. Watch.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all.
Lee Zeldin responded by saying, yes, Crockett, a physician named Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who was a totally other different person than the other Jeffrey Epstein, donated to a prior campaign of mine. No freaking relation, you genius, which is basically translating that into you are a complete and utter moron with a capital M. And yes, Mr. Zeldin, we all agree with you. Here you can see Jeffrey Epstein, physician, self-employed. He donated $750 in April of 2020 to the Republican Party for Lee Zeldin for Congress at the bottom of your screen. You should resign immediately, Crockett. You are the biggest embarrassment that's ever polluted the halls of Congress. If you agree, give me a yeah in the comments down below.
You talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly: Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people. Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says, is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC. So, number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein, because I knew that we would need more time to really dig.
You know, you could take your pick, ladies and gentlemen, on who the most there's so many of them. My God, you have to sit back in awe at the audacious ignoramus that is Jasmine Ghetto Crockett. You have to sit back in I mean, you can see Caitlin Cullen's face. When CNN is turning against you, you know you are in the complete gutter where you belong, Jasmine. I didn't know. We only had 20 minutes. You mean to tell me you admit on camera that you didn't do your due diligence, you didn't do any research, that you went on the House floor in front of the entire world and cast aspersions without a hint of due diligence prior? And then you have the audacity to look America in the face and be like, well, I didn't say it was the Jeffrey Epstein. The level of stupidity, it's galactic. It doesn't get any dumber. I'm going on the record right now. I'm saying this specimen called Jasmine Crockett is one of the most dangerous, ignorantists, stupidists, if those are words. I'm just getting so riled up right now. Individuals to ever walk the earth. It is such a blight and a smear and a shame that she gets to call herself Congresswoman. It is such a disrespect to the office. It's a disrespect to our country. It's you can't even say disrespect. It's foul. It's foul. And guess what? Even The View, it doesn't get any more left woke BS than this gaggle of menopausal hens than The View. Even The View was like, you messed up, Jasmine.
She said, my team looked into this quickly. When you're going to throw out an accusation that big, which we all know this case is that big. Yeah. Just own it, say it was a mistake, and move on, because to then try to say, well, they lie and we don't lie, again, it's the distrust in Congress and our politicians.
But the bottom line is, and you've said this before, Sarah, this is not a partisan issue. This is not a political
but I'm speaking purely to don't sling an accusation out on the congressional floor and not dial it back quickly, abruptly say, I got it wrong, and move on, because it isn't political. It's criminal.
Sonny Hostin, man. You could hear Sonny Hostin try to defend Crockett. It's a nonpartisan issue. I could show you video after video after video. If there's one person in broadcasting history that does not deserve a microphone, it is Sonny. Should not be hosting. She is pathetic. She would defend Hitler if Hitler was a Democrat who fought for open borders and fought for illegals and fought for DEI. She would defend Hitler to the day of her last breath. Lee Zeldin followed up with a response after Jasmine didn't even have the sack to correct herself and call herself out for being a complete lying mook. When you find yourself in a hole, it's best to stop digging. The public FEC report Crockett referenced on the House floor very clearly states that the Jeffrey Epstein who donated to my past campaign was a physician, and the donation date was well after the other Jeffrey Epstein was already dead. And speaking of Epstein, Trump signed the Epstein Act into law and then issued this statement. Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democrat figures, such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times, Larry Summers, who just resigned from many boards, including Harvard, which is absolutely true because that's an admission of guilt by Larry Summers. He goes on to say sleazebag political activist Reid Hoffman, minority leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged, Democrat Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, and many more. Perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their associations with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed, because I have just signed the bill to release the Epstein files. As everyone knows, I asked Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John Thune to pass this bill in the House and Senate, respectively. Because of this request, the votes were almost unanimous in favor of passage. At my direction, the Department of Justice has already turned over close to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. Do not forget, the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page related to Democrat Epstein, nor did they ever even speak about him. Boy, this thing is burning like hot coals of truth. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republican Party, in order to try and distract from our amazing victories, including the great, big, beautiful tax cut bill, strong borders, no men in women's sports, or transgender for everyone, ending DEI, stopping Biden's record-setting inflation, lowering prices, biggest tax and regulation cuts in history, ending 8 wars, rebuilding our military, knocking out Iran's nuclear capability, getting trillions of dollars invested in the USA, creating the hottest country. Oh, I just get so inspired I can hear him in my head while he's saying this. Hottest country anywhere in the world, and even delivering a huge defeat to the Democrats on the recent shutdown disaster. Woo! I love you, President Trump. For years, our great nation has had to endure Russia, Ukraine, impeachment hoax number 1, impeachment hoax number 2. He's so right about that. And many other Democratic created witch hunts and scams, all of which have been so terrible and divisive for our country and have been done to confuse, deflect, and distract from the great job that Republicans and the Trump administration are doing. This latest hoax will backfire on the Democrats, just as all the rest have. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. I might have asked this question many times before, but I'm going to ask it again. Name me one time you ever felt the spirit of 76, the glowing inspiration of our forefathers, your love of country, bleeding red, white, and blue. He gets my chest pumping so fast and hard with red, white, and blue coursing through my veins every time he talks. Have you ever felt that way about a Democrat? If you have, it'd be a huge shock to me. Let me know in the comments down below. Every time he talks, you just feel his love of our country. You feel it permeates off of him. The fragrance, it just absolutely plumes off of all of his words that he loves America. Tell me, have you ever felt that when you heard a Democrat speak? Have you ever felt that with Ghetto Crockett? Have you ever felt that with any of these mooks, these radical anti-American communist lovers? I haven't. Let me know in the comments down below. And, speaking of hoaxes and speaking of the Democrats failing over and over again, here is the video I want to share with you. Just proves my point in earlier videos about how Trump is playing 4D chess. Watch this amazing clip. He even points out Elon Musk, where he divulges how they work together to let Democrats humiliate themselves, and the crowd goes absolutely nuts. This is the art of the deal. This is the best leader and commander we've had in my lifetime at least. This is a powerful video. Watch.
If you think about it, if Kamala, who's the same basic thing, grossly incompetent, he was incompetent, they're all incompetent because their policies are incompetent. Open borders, men playing in women's sports, transgender for everybody. I mean, they got the worst policy. I don't talk about it too much because if I talk about it, they might change. So, no, I don't talk about it. I tell people, don't talk about it. Wait till 2 weeks before the election and hit the hell out of them. Right? We talked about that, right, Elon? He said, we wait 2 weeks before. It's almost like you're at a war. Don't shoot yet. Don't shoot. Hold your fire. The enemy's rushing. Hold your fire. Don't shoot. Okay, now you can go. 2 weeks before. But I watched a guy the other day, a congressman, fighting for men playing in women's sports. And the new weightlifting record for a certain weight was just set. The man was 119 pounds higher than a woman champion who was a phenomenal champion. Beat her by 119, and he was an average lifter prior to transitioning. A lot of the Saudis are sitting here saying, what the hell is he talking about, transition? They don't do a lot of transitioning. They're sitting here, the Saudis are saying, what is he talking about? They're saying, what do you mean women are playing against men? No, that doesn't happen, does it? Yeah, it does. These people are crazy.
You know, I love this guy. Not an untrue word was spoken. If you truly have hate in your heart for the President of the United States of America, you're polluted in your head, quite frankly. And you're polluted by mass leftist propagandized woke media. And you have a deficiency in your soul. And that's really the mission of this channel, making common sense go viral. I'm doing this for my kids, my grandkids' grandkids, because I want them to grow up in an America that you and I grew up in, that made common sense. Thomas Paine wrote the great pamphlet that was one of the catalysts of the Revolutionary War in 1776, called Common Sense. We need a lot more of that these days, and you can help. Tap that thumbs up if you love America and you want this mission to go far and wide. Doesn't cost you a thing. Takes you less than a nanosecond. Tap the thumbs up. Even if you're watching on TV, you can do it with your remote. Share this with everybody. Watch the entire video and watch another one of our videos coming up right here. Check these out right here. You can watch any of these videos that you probably might have missed. You can tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. Turn on the bell, all notifications, so you don't never miss a thing. And as always, may God bless you. May God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.